Libertarian conceptions basically come out of classical liberalism, 17th, 18th century classical liberalism. And it's the core principles of classical liberalism were opposition to illegitimate authority. People should be free from constraints and controls by authoritarian structures which have no inherent legitimacy. Basically one or another form of tyranny or domination. So in the early days they were concerned with feudalism, with tyrannical states and so on. By the late 19th century on through the 20th century, some of the major authoritarian illegitimate structures are the corporate system, the private tyrannies.
Right.
Corporation is basically a tyranny.
Right.
Dominated from the top, take orders from above, give them down below. At the bottom, you can rent yourself. You have no part. It doesn't even pretend to have anything like popular democratic control. With the so-called libertarian movement in the United States, which incidentally, people I often have friends, I often agree with them on many things, but their policies, whatever their goals may be, their policies tend to drive people under the control of the worst possible form of tyranny, unaccountable private tyranny. Right. And that's the opposite of libertarianism. There's one crucial difference between American libertarianism and traditional libertarianism. Traditional libertarianism was opposed to any form of dominance and hierarchy. One of the slogans was "No God, no master," meaning no ecclesiastical dominance, no masters in industry and personal life and families anywhere else. American libertarianism is quite different. It's perfectly happy to support masters. In fact, it extols them. It's in favor of it. It wants no interference with the domination and control of people in the workforce, let's say. That's very counter to traditional libertarianism, either in Europe or, for that matter, in the United States. If you go back to the 19th century, early days of the Industrial Revolution, there were mass popular movements which had their own journals. You can read what they said and so on. And they were just spontaneous. They were opposed to the way in which the industrial system was forcing them to turn into tools of production under someone else's control and destroying their independence as free people, also destroying their culture. Their slogan was, "Those who work in the mills should own them." That was taken for granted. In fact, it was what they called wage slavery, wage labor. They regarded as not very different from chattel slavery. Now, that was such a popular position in the United States in the 19th century that it was a slogan of the Republican Party. Wage labor is tolerable because it's temporary, but people should control their own industrial fate. This is as American as apple pie and quite different from what's called libertarianism today. These are important things to bear in mind.